All right, let's have a bit of a chat or whatever. I don't even know what's even anymore. What's odd. You know that song, Sometimes You're the Windshield and Sometimes You're the Bug? It's funny, I was thinking today when the park I've been watching, as you're following this along, Orange is the New Black, right? So I'm on Ranger mode and I'm on getting stuck in the shoe, getting sent into the isolation, and then hiding commissaries. I was like, you see different things. Like, oh wait, where'd they hide? Anyway, the point is forgot the freaking point. Oh, I was watching my show and hanging out in my car, and the park ranger pulled up next to me, and you could just feel the energy. I could feel the whole warden energy, right? The whole, and he didn't see me seeing him, and I didn't have a shirt on because I just didn't want to have a shirt on. So I kind of just sat there, and he was checking I do know English. I had my shades up, and he was checking to see if I had my my pass. I'm looking, and so he saw it, and he's like, he's okay. So he's satisfied with that, and there's nothing he could do. But he's looking at the car so freaking weird, like, what the fuck? Like, because why are they in there? What are they doing? And nosy Rosie, just this whole I almost popped the shade down and said, can I help you? But it was funny because if I'm away from the car and out on a walk, then I wouldn't have the windows down and the shades up. And so, people go down there and hang out in their cars and read and watch movies and do all kinds of things. It was just funny, but it reminded me of this dichotomy, pun very much intended, dichotomy. So I'm the homeless getting rousted. And when I worked so I did security at Fort Worden at a big concert 4 nights in a row. I said 13-hour shifts. One was, I think, even 15. Watching, all the equipment and stuff overnight, which mostly was about chasing off raccoons, which is kind of interesting. But it was fun. It was so awesome. It was so beautiful to be just walking around all night in the field. And I came across some homeless people the morning before I left. Those particular people I took to breakfast. The woman had got herself, I think the guy was her husband, but she was like 60, and he was like 30 or something. It was quite a deal, and it seemed a little odd and abusive. And they'd come up here on a bus, and they were waiting for their paycheck. I think he came from money or family business or whatever, but they didn't have any money, and they'd miscalculated, and they thought it was going to be warmer. I think it was the fall, but anyway, she was really cold, and it was a bad situation. And so I took them, and she didn't have fucking shoes. She had flip-flops and no socks, and oh my God, so I took them to breakfast, and then I took her to Goodwill and bought her some clothes and some shoes, and then I gave them money to get back to where they needed to be. And, but in a way, I was rousting the homeless, right? Because they had slept in the woods there. I didn't know that until the morning when I left, and they'd slept on the other side where the campers were or something. But when I did wooden boat security downtown, this is the dichotomy. It's like I was rousting the homeless, right? So people come up to me and they're like, okay, there's this homeless guy. And he's always, I'm thinking, okay, well, he needs help, right? But my boss was working with me. He's working the other end of it. And he's like, there's no reason for anybody to ever be homeless. Turned out later, anyway, just fucking prick, right? And so I'm in a job as the authority, rousting the homeless. And then I'm the homeless being rousted. It's the whole thing. Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. It's the whole dichotomy. You really experience victim, abuser, murderer, murdered, male, female, all the different races. We experience all of that. And people do the craziest thing. When you see this face, sometimes it's because the way people drive sometimes is like, what? Anyway, so that's how we came here to Earth to experience all sides and all facets of not just like a square, right? But more like a diamond, more like like 100 sides of parallel realities of every option and every side. And every time we came up with a new idea, a new choice, we had a life, a version of us that experienced the other choice. It's like, wow, this choice. So this choice came from this vantage point. You get to this vantage point, you got another choice. And you can see how it branched off millions and billions and zillions of times, right? And we, as source experiencing life, opened up more and more and more options. And now those timelines are all collapsing, which is fascinating. And we're like taking the best of the best, right? But it's just so profound to me. I just found it to be so profound. Like one day I'm being roused by the authority and the next day I am the authority. I mean, it was so fucking literal and so like right there. Anyway, so today's Memorial Day. I'm not really a Memorial Day girl. Respect your troops. No, I don't respect the troops. Used to say, well, don't be against the war, but no. The vets that were drafted have my respect. But people who choose to join wars and join, you know, I get it, right? So, you know, leaving small town America is sometimes it's people's only way out. But it's voluntary. And so why do we have to automatically respect them? I mean, you heard... even, what was it? I seen a Trump clip the other day and stuff. He's one of the only ones that kind of exposed that we're a military for hire, right? And that Dubois or whatever had paid all this money. So the United States was the military to the world and bossing everybody around, pushing everybody around and a military for hire. Why do we have to respect that? And because we're free? We're not fucking free, okay? Cancer's always been curable. They inject us with fucking shit. They tax us to death. We're not fucking free in America, okay? I've been to countries that aren't free and they don't have people fucking sleeping in the streets, okay? America's worse than a third world country in a lot of ways for that. Yeah, it's beautiful, but the stretch between the rich and the non-rich is just horrendous. And to act like that the military is liberating me and making my life free, it's not. Okay. If you think that's disrespectful, don't fucking care. Again, people that were drafted do have my respect. I grew up with a man who'd been in Vietnam, and I couldn't even wake my dad up on my own. I wasn't allowed to because he'd kill me before he woke up. I had a uncle that had Agent Orange on him, and his kids, you know, it ended up being an issue with his kids. You know, they poisoned them. They, you know, and they knew about remote viewing, you know, all the secrets and all this. No, ugh, no, thank you. No. Let's see. So anyway, that's today. And the beauty is fucking overwhelming. The softness of the water, the stunning, magical beauty. I have been in Port Townsend since 2012. I've been living in a vehicle. No, I've been homeless since 2014, so I've been out among stuff. And for the last 5 years, I've been living in a car. I've seen extreme beauty here. Extreme. But this is different. This is new earth. This is so fucking pure and so beautiful. And it's overwhelming. And, you know, I feel like I've died and gone to heaven and I'm waiting for my family, right? I'm waiting for my tribe. I'm waiting for my lover. I'm waiting for my people. You know, I'm here in heaven and my tribe's not here yet. And there's good, awesome people everywhere. There's just so many lovely, amazing, neat, interesting people that come to Port Townsend. The hippie, bohemian, busker, sort of cool. I like those type of people. The part of Port Townsend that's all like yuppie, like uppity, think they're all that, whatever. I'm not really into, that's not my, those aren't my people. You know, real estate is outrageous. Rentals are absolutely discriminating. having been in real estate 20 years, but what are you going to do, right? They're evicting people on an eviction moratorium. Real estate prices are sky high, rent sky high. They can pick and choose. It's a whole different world here. And there's nothing more important than everyone being housed. Not one thing. No little artsy-fartsy thing. Nothing. None of your fucking goals and dreams. And where are you going to be in 5 years? Nobody fucking cares, okay? All of this world of colleges and jobs, the Great Awakening, okay, should have woke you up to what we all already knew as light workers and starseeds, that this is bullshit. Okay, college dumbs you down. A trade school to teach you how to fucking do something. Okay, yeah. But suburbia and malls and colleges and even mainstream churches, all that shit is to take you away from yourself, okay? If you want to know God and you want to know yourself, live in a fucking car. Live in a car with your kids. Go traveling in an RV with your kids. Take your kids around the world and homeschool them. I met people like that even in my early 20s. It's not about hitting these markers of, let's graduate high school, then let's go to this, let's go. It's not about that at all. Teach your kids how to not be fucking depressed and addicted and fucked up. By being true to yourself, by not being addicted yourself, by being true to yourself, by traveling, by experiencing things, by liberating yourself and being honest with who you are. Instead of trapping your kids in, well, you got to do this, they're going to break out of it anyway. They're not going to listen to your crap anyway. I digress. Clearly. Stunning, beautiful day. Like, I'm looking at stunning beauty. And if you want to see it, you can look at the other videos because I've already fucking videoed it. Anyway, today was weird, man. For the last couple of days, like the Schumann resonance or this fifth sun going into the sixth sun, just this pressure inside of me. Like if someone would have touched me wrong, like that. I don't know, just this anger and rage. Yesterday it was kind of this other pain and level of grief, and then it was just this, like I could just pick up a truck and throw it across the bay. You see the water splash up. And then I wore this shirt today. Yeah, it didn't suit me. I think it's more of a fall shirt. Then I wore this shirt today. Yeah, it didn't suit me today. Well, it didn't suit me earlier. Anyway, the point of that, no fucking point. There's no fucking point to any of this. And who the fuck's listening anyway? Right? Just the people walking by going, what's she doing there? What are you doing there? What are you doing there? And I'm thinking about getting a really big dildo and using it as a microphone. I'm singing to the Lord up in here. Or just lying in the dash, right? I won't, because most people are fucking awesome. So fucking awesome, right? And, the people that don't like the looks of me didn't like the looks of me when I was a millionaire. They don't like the looks of me when I'm in the gutter. They don't like the look of me when I'm on a roof. They don't like the look of me when I'm eating green eggs and ham. They don't like the look of me if I'm a dyke. They don't like the look of me if I'm straight. They don't like the look of... what? Right? The people that don't know death, don't know life, don't know their fucking fuck. And I do. I know all my fucking fuck. I'm all awake and shit. And I like know shit, and I know death don't exist, and I know supernatural, and I know that we've moved to a whole nother reality. I know all these wonderful things, and who fucking cares? Doesn't change a goddamn fucking thing. Oh, it does. Why is it so important, like the Mandela effect, the reality show? Okay. Because, I know you really want to know. It means that we can move to any reality we want. We can shift based on our thought. Blah, 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 blah. Right? Can I just do that? Blah, blah, blah. What the fuck did I get eyebrows? I didn't even know I had any. Anyway, you can't create just any fucking reality you want. Turns out, the more pure you get with your fucking life, right? The more shit you fucking know. The more zen you get, even if you're cussed. And the more you can see the beauty and feel the ether, and you know you've moved from dimension to dimension. You know about interdimensional travel and things, and you know all this stuff, and the more you know, you have to eat the spaghetti. No. The more you know, the more you let go of linear time, the more you let go of your house, you let go of relationships, you let go of people, you don't want to be around people who are abusive, you don't want to be around people who are toxic, you do a rendering and you purify and you purify and you purify. So it doesn't lead to, oh yes, move to whatever reality you want. You want to live in your mansion with your pool and all your whatevers? No. That, if you want, you don't really fucking want that. Like the Abraham Hicks stuff. What you want is the feeling that you have from that. And so as you get to more and more awake and more rendering and keep creating your reality the way you want it, what you end up doing is letting go of everything. Right? And it's so funny. The first Cryon book, or the second one in the early 90s, it was like, first, you're going to leave your house. And you're going to leave your house with a big old semi stuff. Then you're going to leave with U-Haul, whatever. Then you're going to leave with a truck. Then you're going to leave with a backpack. Right? And I was like, well, how the fuck does that work, right? Just out of high school. Start in my life. I was really into New Age stuff then, the harmonic convergence, all that. Right out of the gate as an adult. I didn't know that it was reality shifts were really literal at the time. Now I do. Anyway, so also at that time, that same Cryon book was like, okay, well, when it happens, when all this stuff happens, blah, 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 you're going to be looking out the window and it's just going to be all going down. You're going to be somewhere safe. All the light workers are going to be led to somewhere, just kind of called somewhere. And then it's all going to just happen, and talked about the transition. And I think we're kind of in that now. It's 2021, May. But, wow, right? So I went on my merry way. The person I was with at that time, then I got to with someone else. And I had a real estate company. We had a bakery. We had a ranch. You know, we had a ranch in Oregon. I was going to say driver's license. Yes, driver's license. But also a real estate license in multiple states, and you know, all this stuff, right? Moved from Montana to Oregon, a giant semi truck and a U-Haul and 2 trucks, right? Oh, and a horse trailer. Hired people to bring horses. We had 5 horses. We had 5 cats. We had 2 dogs. We had a macaw. We left the ducks and chickens, had like 20 of them. What else? 5 more. I mean, that was enough, but fuck, right? Thinking. Oh, God, we could have had a great fucking piece of property instead of just... Anyway, so the point is, okay, so then that... Whatever happened with that happened. Okay. And we moved back to Montana and bought a house. Had a like a 9,000 square foot house on 40 acres. And unloaded the semi. And the next time we moved, because there was something wrong with the house, with the U-Haul into another house. First we moved in the garage, then we moved into another house. And then I left and I moved with a truck, a little truck. These details in between for another story for another day, because it points another tale in another way. See, why are you doing that with your face? I have no fucking idea. So then I left with the truck. Then, I kind of left with the truck again. Then I moved to Boulder, Colorado. I went to Boulder, Colorado to meet someone and stayed. And that's where I did the post that my big free speech case came about. I was alone in an apartment in Boulder, Colorado. And I left there because some psycho bitch, motherfuck, man, lured me with her ways back to Hamilton, Montana. Those stories for another day. So, I had even less, so I had a truckload of stuff, but I had less truckload of stuff. So then, anyway, this fucking story is boring me to tears, but the point is that It has fucking happened. Just like Cryon said, I'm like, what the fuck, right? A semi, and then back down. Then I get to Port Townsend, right? And then I lose my rental. I lose my income. Just boom, no notice. Just boom, gone, done. And then didn't really have any credit. And because of my court case, I had all this fucking fake fucking news out there about me. And so people are like a little bit scared of me. And then I moved into hotels. So then I got a bag, right? And I'm moving room to room to room, and I got my rig and whatever. And then the hotel, the church that was paying for my hotels, boom, done, ended abruptly, no real notice. And then I lived in my tiny truck. And then my truck blew up. Bomb. No, but I did check it for bombs every day before the case. Long story, another day. And anyway, yeah, kaput. So I sold it for parts for like $300, and I flew to Ireland for a couple months to see my girl. And then I experienced just the bag, right? No vehicle, just the bag. I spent a few months in Florida on a couch. That story another day. I spent a few months in Oregon on a couch. Meth addicts, family. That story for another day. But the point is that it did happen. It did. It went down to nothing. It went down to just a bag. And that's what the awakening is about. And that's what it's about when I preach, you can create the reality you want. Your thoughts and your beliefs is creating the reality. If you didn't want that reality, you wouldn't have created it. It's your thoughts, what's your beliefs, right? So then they're like, well, then why do you live in a car? Well, because this is the most peaceful. This is the reality I created. Because there's beauty all around. There's peace and quiet. There's so many beautiful things. So I want this or better. And fucking apartments are not better with fucking noise and chaos and drama. A room in someone's house is not better because all these fucking, and then they think, and you're still the renter. Even when you rent a house here, the landlord's always there and it's not like Montana, right? Just always up in your fucking grill about something all the fucking time. And before I moved here, I was always an owner, with my partner, and I didn't live like that. I lived other things, but not that. And so, so the car actually was the dream, right? But I would like a bathroom and I would like a bathtub, and I have not slept in my own fucking bed in a home since 2014. And I was lied to and betrayed by someone within the church I was working with, and that led to living how I'm living. And once you're in it, like, what do you do, right? Got no credit, got no rental history. It's not about money. The people that I thought were my friends didn't help me and basically turned on me and lectured me about, conspiracy theories and all these things. But when I fucking know shit, I know shit, right? So I know death. I see clearly. So whether someone believes what I have to say or not, I don't fucking care, because I know for me. And so for me, when I say you can create your own reality, and if anyone's like, well, then why don't you create a reality where you live in a house? I create a reality based on a feeling. So my feeling and my beliefs created this reality because this is my peace. So even when I was hanging out at my church, like there'd just be a loud bang upstairs. You never knew. There was an apartment upstairs and there's kids running all the time. There's always noise. And then there's constant highway noise and dust. And then the business next door, when they were open, you could hear pretty much everything that was always said. So there really wasn't peace, but it was nice to have a space for a while. But, electricity and cooking and running water in a tiny sink, it's just, it had its limits. And so as I create my reality based on a feeling that I want to feel, the car is that best feeling. And so you get to that level, and then there's another level. But it's just fascinating to me how when I look at it and I go, well then why aren't you creating better? Well, what's better than peace? What's better than walking out on the beach in the middle of the night? What's better than this beautiful views and this beautiful air and just beautiful people and just cool, interesting things every fucking day? Well, what's better than that is to add that to the next step, and yes, live indoors and have a bathtub and have, a place to cook. I love to cook, and have a lover and have all that. That is the next step of better, with on top of this, but not instead of. And so that's kind of where it's rendering out. And there's that story. Prana just ended. That was interesting, right? That red. Anyway, so red's my color today. I got the red one of this and the green one, and I like them both, but those other ones here today. Okay, so what else for today? There's something on my face, and oh, there it is still. I sang a song today on Shmuel about this gal that I knew when I was doing real estate in Montana, gosh, like 15 years ago now, and her daughter died. And I just cried and cried, and I cry every time I tell the story. And I'm going to do a video again soon singing it again, because even though the song was 10 minutes long and it was freestyle, I wanted to go further with the how she brought Jesus to this world by liberating the man that had accidentally killed her daughter in a traffic accident. And it was the most beautiful display of Christianity that I've ever known or seen or heard about among all the Christians. And I sang it, and I sang about, I don't understand when people say God-fearing, so I say God-loving. God-fearing is fucking ridiculous. And you are God. You're a creator God. But anyway, singing that really moved me tonight. Really fucking moved me just her daughter died, and she was the first one on the scene. And she, the truck driver couldn't stop. And she went up to the truck driver and she told him it wasn't his fault. There's nothing he could do. And she forgave him and she liberated him. He took a year off of work. He had a break. But, he got through it and he could sleep at night, right? And though he'd killed a 16-year-old girl at the beginning of her life and he could hardly live with it, he had her forgiveness instantly. And that was because of her faith and her connection to Jesus. And she didn't just stay with her daughter crying and lose it. She paid attention to the guy, the one that was still alive, and his suffering. And she went and she healed him and she loved him and she liberated him. And it's always moved me, and it will always move me. And I have lots of stories I want to tell and sing. And sometimes I think, why bother, right? Because who cares? And what are we doing anyway, right? We're just waiting for that next level. No, we're creating that next level, right? Well, right now, I'm just creating peace every day. And I'm holding the line. And my spiritual advice is clear, that June is for me to hold the line. I've liberated myself from a lot of different negative things in my life. And I've got a whole bunch of really cool, good energy and amazing things. And it's about holding that high vibration so that new patterns can set in, new neurons can grow, new, people, whether it's addictions, habits, whatever, in order to change that, you have to focus on something different. And so I got a bunch of different stuff going on, and I worked my ass off getting out of that church. And so now is the time to rest, but also to hold the positive, hold the idea and the image of what I want in my life, who I want in my life, and how I want it in my life, and to let that frequency strengthen so I can draw it to me. And that's what June's to be. It's kind of rocky here and there because I have these levels and layers of grief that just are like pouring out, and probably feeling the mass consciousness and the shift. And I felt this one way last week, and now this week, just this collapse of energy, and people talking about the intensity of the Schumann resonance and the solar eclipse moon or whatever, the last full moon, and just how intense the energy of everything is. And then, like I said, the fifth sun to the sixth sun, and just this transition, and it's just made me exhausted. So I've just been resting, walking down at Fort Worden, and binging on Orange is the New Black, which is interesting because the last year I didn't really, only had like one Netflix show I really watched, or two. I watched the regulars and I watched something else, mystical, but I just couldn't get into anything, and I'm really into this. Oh, probably because it's like lots of lesbian drama, and some lesbian drama is always entertaining. Anyway, that's about it for today. Let's see. Oh, Tuesday, June 1st. Oh my gosh. The quantum financial system should be good to go, right? Tomorrow. So yeah, I got faith. I think, the other day I said in a video when I was walking, but I didn't finish this thought. I used to think that the opposite of fear was confidence. So when I was doing my I ams, I'm like, if I'm afraid, I'm like, I am confident, I am confident, I am confident. Okay, well, but the opposite of fear is actually faith. So then you say, what? I am faithful? Well, yeah, if you're faithful to yourself, if you're true to yourself and honest with yourself. But faith, in 100% faith, there's absolutely nowhere for fear. There's no way for fear. And the point of saying that is have faith. Because in 100% faith, there is no fear. And the days when I don't really feel fear so much now, right now. I have these layers of, repeating myself. So I'm just going to go now. So, goodbye, motherfuckers. If you don't like being called that, don't come back. And don't let the fucking door hit you in the ass. God is blessed.